saw that they have a confusion as to what consciousness is. In other words, how can we know that we are even alive? How can we know us? Can you imagine that? It takes scholarly minds in the world to get this confused, frankly speaking. You know, the read things in the world, searching from answers from those who are searching for answers. How can you get answers from those who are searching for answers? You see. And so at the end of the day, they come up with definitions that make no sense to them. But let me give you certain illustrations. If you were to love without someone or something that has the capacity to receive love and reciprocate love, you cannot love. Love is impossible without an object of love that has the capacity to receive love and reciprocate love. That's number one. And that is important. Secondly, imagine that you were in space. You cannot know your location except with reference to another location. There has to be a reference. Without a reference, you are lost. The only way you know where you are in space is by having a reference, which is another location. Consciousness is like that. You see, this is very important. Consciousness. You cannot define your own consciousness without relating with another conscious being. Consciousness is impossible without the ultimate consciousness. So this is their problem. When they go into the discussion of consciousness, they are lost. Why? Because they have no reference. They have no reference. It's like trying to love without an object of love that has the capacity to receive and reciprocate it. It's like being in space without a reference for your direction, your location. How can you even become conscious? How can you have self-awareness without reference to another conscious being that is conscious enough to respond to your consciousness? What I've found is that no real Christian, no one who has come to know the Lord Jesus Christ in a personal relationship has problems with consciousness. They don't have a question about consciousness because they have arrived. They have been located. They have a relationship. See, you can know about Jesus. You can read about Jesus, know so much about Jesus, and not know Jesus. There's a difference between knowing about him. There's a difference between being erudite on the subject of religion and knowing Jesus Christ personally in a relationship. This is what Jesus brought to us. He brought us a relationship with God. He brought us a revelation. See, you must come to the point where you recognize that mental erudition will never solve the problem. No, you cannot know God from your mind, because he's far beyond the mind. And that's why consciousness must be taken beyond the human mind, the human thought. There's where they lack. They lack knowledge. Because primarily, man is a spirit being. And until and unless you recognize the spirituality of your nature, there'll be no connection with truth. So you have such questions like Pilate asked Jesus. He said to Jesus, what is truth? He had no idea, even though he was Pilate, the governor. He asked Jesus, what is truth? But when Jesus spoke about truth, what did he say? He didn't say, I'm searching the truth. He didn't say, I know the truth. He said, I am the truth. Then you ask the question, who is Jesus then? It was either he was insane to declare that he was the truth, or he knew what he was talking about. You can't have it both ways. He was either dead wrong and insane, or he was absolutely right. If anybody says, I am the truth, he must know what he's talking about. It means I am the ultimate reality. That is truth. Truth is reality. The ultimate reality. How can a man declare that he's the ultimate reality? In other words, I am the final reference point. For Jesus to declare that that was who he was would mean he was right or he was wrong. He couldn't be partially right. He couldn't be partially wrong. He could only be absolutely right or absolutely wrong, because truth is an absolute. And Jesus declared that he was the truth. He was the truth. That's what he said. And just to give you a little bit of help here,